All right, welcome back. We're here for another real money underdog fantasy football draft day. We're getting into a 12-man team league. Big news today. Baker Mayfield, I think 2 hours ago, maybe at this point, just got traded to the Panthers. So you guys know that we were advocating for that for quite a while. We were saying we thought he was going to go somewhere. I thought he was going to go to Seattle. But his two landing spots were either Seattle or Carolina Panthers, and he ended up going to the Panthers. So I wonder, why can I wonder if his ADP, his ADP doesn't look to be adjusted yet. So we might be able to capitalize on this. However, I think people are going to reach ahead for him. This also makes DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson a lot more valuable. I'm not really sure who the tight end is in Carolina, actually. Let's see who that is. Carolina Panthers. I mean, because going from. Who is that? Going from Sam Darnold to Baker Mayfield is a massive upgrade, especially if Baker Mayfield's going to be healthy this year. So everyone around him is, extremely more valuable now. Other than probably Christian McCaffrey, he was already pretty much as high as he's going to be. I don't really see him, like, maybe his ADP starts going at 2 on a more regular basis, but I think he's the least affected by this trade as far as ADP goes. But DJ Moore just became a lot more valuable. Baker Mayfield is, he was valuable before just from speculation, but he is absolutely more valuable now. We capitalized on taking him in the Superflex drafts a little bit in the past couple of weeks based off of the speculation. Unfortunately, we don't have him stacked with DJ Moore anywhere. I think we have him stacked with DK Metcalf a few places. But either way, I'm glad to have him on my team. We drafted a few super teams, being that he did end up getting traded. So you love to see it. It's very interesting now. I'm curious to see if people start overreacting and taking DJ Moore and Baker Mayfield very early, because I don't think anyone knows what their ADP is quite yet. So people are going to start guessing, and I'm curious to see where they go. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm a lot more interested in DJ Moore now. I think DJ Moore is an absolutely incredible athlete. He just never has really had a quarterback and still has found a way to produce. So now that he's got DJ Moore, now that he's got Baker Mayfield, his production looks to be skyrocketing. But we're pick 7 here in this draft. We're 2 picks away. I don't really know who I'm shooting for yet, actually. So let's just wait and see who falls. If Jamar Chase falls, we'll take him. If not, we might end up going either Diggs or Najee Harris, but we'll see. I don't know, though. If Austin Eckler, okay, so Diggs goes. I would love for a running back to go here so we can go Jamar Chase. Unfortunately, they go Jamar Chase. So what we'll do is go Najee Harris. I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous about Austin Eckler. He's a very small back. I think that he has plenty of value. I've taken him plenty of times. As a matter of fact, one of the super teams on my super flex drafts, I have Baker Mayfield and Austin Eckler. But I think right in this middle range, for some reason I just feel gross taking Austin Eckler. I'm not super confident in him. His year last year was a little inflated with his touchdown rate, being that he basically almost tripled his touchdowns from the previous year. I think he definitely doubled them. But so I think that that's all baked into his value right now, and I don't think he repeats that type of season, especially with the developments in the Chargers offense. So, it's almost like a boring pick. That's really all I can say. It's like the boring mid-range pick to go with Austin Eckler. I think Derrick Henry. I think I like Derrick Henry a little bit more than Najee Harris, but I've gotten Derrick Henry a lot at this later range, which you can get Najee Harris out there as well, which actually is usually where he goes. But I want to go with Najee Harris here, switch it up. I think that the thing about Najee Harris is he is a very low, he's a very high floor. So I think you pretty much know what you're going to get with Najee Harris. 15 to 25 points for the entire season. He stays healthy. He's in a better offense than he was last year. So I like going Najee Harris here. But what this means is we want to go with more of a explosive option for our second running back. Hopefully that's DeAndre Swift, but I doubt it. Yeah, so DeAndre Swift goes. I'm just debating if I want Saquon Barkley or like Mike Evans. Okay, so Saquon Barkley goes. So right now we're hoping for Mike Evans. Oh, it's our pick. Okay, sorry, I'm out of it right now. Yeah, we'll go Mike Evans. We'll go Mike Evans. I think it's definitely in the range of outcomes that Mike Evans becomes the number one wide receiver overall this year, just being that Chris Godwin is out, Rob Gronkowski retired. I think Tom Brady still is playing the tank. I know Chris is out there somewhere wincing at me taking a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, but I'm still high on him, so I like Mike Evans here in the middle of the second round, especially when it's compared to Debo and Tyreek Hill. I'm looking for one of these running backs to fall to me in the middle of the third round, although I don't think that's very likely. That's what we're hoping for. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. But I do like going Mike Evans there. The reason I didn't go Mark Andrews is just because of exposure. I have so much Mark Andrews. I think Lamar Jackson is my second most drafted player in the entire league, other than Odell Beckham Jr., which I've really throttled back. And I think I have the most money on Lamar Jackson, being that he's in two of my best ball leagues and then plenty of my other miscellaneous leagues. I've said it before, but I think Lamar Jackson repeats his MVP-like season. I don't think he wins MVP, but I definitely think he is in the conversation this coming year. So that's why I'm so high on him. And usually when I go with Lamar Jackson, I'm obviously trying to get Mark Andrews on that team as well. So I have a lot of Mark Andrews exposure. So hence me not going with him there. Now, Leonard Fournette and Javonte Williams both go early. So we're not really looking too good to get Nick Chubb at the pick 31. That's obviously our ideal pick, but I think we will be trying to go with James Conner if we can. James Conner or Alvin Kamara? That's the question. That's the question I'm asking myself right now. I mean, we could go with we have a lot of options here because I'm not in love with really anybody in this range, to be honest with you. DJ Moore is going at pick 38 is what it looks like. So he could fall to us, which if he falls to us at 42, we'll absolutely take him. I'm just debating if I want Alvin Kamara or James Conner here, I think is what I'm narrowing it down to. I could go with like a Kyle Pitts as well. Do I want to go Kyle Pitts? I think Kyle Pitts I have very low exposure to, and I think that could be a mistake. So I'm considering him here as well. This team, I'm sure, goes Josh Allen. I think this is the Stephon Diggs team, yeah. So they've got to go Josh Allen. I'd be very shocked if they don't. And I'm not really super interested in Mike Williams. So it really is between Alvin Kamara, James Conner, and Kyle Pitts for me. Yeah, he goes Josh Allen. They go Alvin Kamara. So what we're going to do... We're actually going to go Kyle Pitts. We're going to use this opportunity to go Kyle Pitts. He lines up perfectly with our draft order. And I was just thinking that Drake London is an absolutely phenomenal prospect. He was the number one wide receiver coming in to the NFL from college this year as a rookie. But he still is a rookie, and their wide receiver 2 option is Bryan Edwards, who was like the third option on, I think it was the second or third option. Well, it depends on if you count Mr. DUI. What's his name? Henry Ruggs. But yeah, I think he was second or third option on the Oakland Raiders. No, he was a third because of Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller. So yeah, he was lower on the depth chart in I said Oakland, but I mean Las Vegas Raiders. So I think they might start hyper targeting Kyle Pitts, especially with Marcus Mariota coming in. Hasn't played at a starting role in quite some time, so they're going to try to get him involved as much as possible early on. And I think he might be the go-to target for the entire season. Drake London, I do think, gets up to speed and has himself a very respectable season as well. But Kyle Pitts was the top tight end prospect in the last 10 years. So we'll take him here, and we really don't have much Kyle Pitts in any of our leagues. So I like taking him where it's available. James Conner scares me a little bit. Now, if he fell to us at 42, we obviously would have taken him, but he didn't. Terry McLaurin gets taken, so now I'm interested in another running back. It's just a matter of which one. Right now, I'm between Cam Akers and Breece Hall. I think who has a higher ceiling? I think Cam Akers might have the higher ceiling. Maybe that's unfair because Breece Hall's a rookie, and rookies always have that factor of the unknown. And maybe he comes in here and has himself a Saquon Barkley like rookie season, but I'm gonna go ahead and take Cam Akers just because of the offense that he's in. I think he has more red zone touches. I think he's just on a better offense overall as it sits now. So we'll go with him. Although I am a little bit eerie on that pick. I have been throughout these drafts just because of his injury from last year. You always have you run the risk of re-injury. And I think Darrell Henderson definitely proved himself last year. So I think Darrell Henderson I think last year he earned himself at least a role on this offense moving forward. So he might get some goal line touches, but I think Cam Akers gets all the receiving work and the majority of the touches. So I still like him here, especially being that he is my running back 2 behind Najee Harris, who is, like we talked about, has a very high floor and average ceiling. So he's kind of a rock in the running back room, and we'll take Cam Akers there to give ourselves the potential upside. And we're starting off very balanced as we normally do. So moving forward, we really can take whoever we want, whoever falls to us at a value. So let's look ahead. 55 is the ADP range we're looking at. Let's pull up the big board and see what we're looking at. So a little bit of a running back run there in the middle of the 4th round. Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert get paired up on the 101 team. It's a little different for the 101 team. Cooper Kupp, Javonte Williams, Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, Gabe Davis. That's a little different. I haven't seen that a whole lot. We did see, I didn't mention it, but we did see DJ Moore go earlier than usual here at pick 35. He went ahead of ADP I think it was 3 picks. And I think he will continue to move up. I think he'll eventually pass Michael Pittman and be right after AJ Brown. I truly do think that's where he belongs. I think that's where he deserves to go. It's just we'll see if that's how the ADP works out. And if not, we will take DJ Moore as much as we possibly can. I don't know. I cannot understate how much of a difference Baker Mayfield is at the quarterback position in comparison to Sam Darnold. So all the supporting cast I'm interested in now. Whereas before, Robbie Anderson, I wasn't touching at all. DJ Moore, I was rarely touching. So I didn't get the values that I wish I did, especially in Best Ball Mania. But we'll move forward regardless. Now, you guys know I want to take Lamar Jackson here, but we passed up Mark Andrews in the beginning of the draft, so we're going to go ahead and pass on Lamar Jackson. Although, you know what? We are going to go with Juju Smith-Schuster. I've been talking a lot about him recently. Rashad Bateman, obviously George Kittle I'm not interested in. Rashad Bateman I'm not interested in, being that we don't have Lamar Jackson. I almost took J.K. Dobbins. But let's go with Juju. I like getting another receiver here, keeping our team a little bit balanced. And I do think, we talked about it the past couple videos, but Juju definitely has he's a potential candidate to have a blow up year, almost like Cooper Kupp did last year. I think that actually now that Baker Mayfield is in Carolina, I think he actually has a potential breakout season as well. I think he's in the discussion with Juju Smith on Kansas City and Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton in Denver. I think those are the three teams that have potential. They have new quarterback roles, in comparison to the team they were on previously, they all have new quarterback roles, all good quarterbacks or better than the quarterbacks they were with last year. So they're all candidates for some spike seasons here moving forward. So we love to look for those, especially in the range where we feel like we can get some value based off of how we think they're going to produce. So I like Juju there. I think Rashad Bateman really does fall in that conversation as well. So I thought about taking him as well, but being that we're not going with Lamar, we will go with Juju there. Now, I am looking for J.K. Dobbins to fall to us at 66. Doubt it, but that's what we're looking for here. Russell Gage goes. We need him to fall one more pick. And he does. So we'll take J.K. Dobbins 10 picks behind ADP. That's who we were looking at taking our last pick. So we end up getting both the players we want. And now I'm really comfortable with our running back room. And we will start drafting wide receivers as much as possible. However, we are going to look for a quarterback here soon. Pick 81 is Tom Brady. Which we probably will reach on here at 79, actually. I'm okay with doing that. We already passed on Patrick Mahomes, so that would have been the other stack with our top two receivers. So being that we passed on Patrick Mahomes, we're going to go ahead and try to get Mike Evans for the elite wide receiver stack. We can get stacks all day in the later rounds for the wide receivers that fall to the 11th and on draft or rounds, but I prefer to get my stacks with my stud receivers. So Tom Brady's kind of our last chance at that. So we'll go ahead and take him, especially being that I feel very comfortable in both the running back, tight end, and wide receiver room. So the only person we have to watch out for. Oh no. I was going to say the only person we have to watch out for is the Russell Gage and Chris Godwin team, but they're going to be after us. So I don't think that anyone's going to reach on Tom Brady other than those two teams, which they're going to be after us. So we should be able to grab Tom Brady here. I really do like drafting in the middle of the draft just because I feel like I'm constantly picking. I'm constantly thinking about my next draft because there's not as big of a gap between my pick and the next pick. Whereas when you're on the turns, there's a massive gap. So I do like picking in the middle rounds just because of the activity. It keeps you talking, keeps you active, keeps you thinking. But I will say I think you get your values. I think you can draft better teams here on the ends. And we are just seeing Ryan over here go 6 wide receivers to start. That is quite the start, my friend. Very curious to see how you get running backs balanced out after that. That is quite the start. So we're coming up here to our, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, yeah. 7th pick. And we are looking for Thomas Brady, which we get him. So we won't think about it. Michael Thomas is really who I want to pick, but we don't have the Tom Brady Mike Evans stack as much as we wish we did. I think the way they usually shake out, it kind of I never end up getting the stack. So we're going to go ahead and take him here. Although I could regret that pick. Michael Thomas could have been the better pick there. Especially since we only had 2 receivers. But right now, what we're trying to do is just smash wide receiver. We're going to try to sneak and grab Baker Mayfield really late. I would not be shocked if the draft room doesn't let me do that. Because his ADP is all the way down here at 212. So let's see when we think would be a good time to take him. We could sneak him from people. We could try to take him in like the 15th round or something like that. Maybe we try that. And if we don't get him, we just get three quarterbacks. I think I'm going to try to do that. I think what I'm going to do is try to just go wide receiver for the next 5 rounds straight. Literally, hold me to it. I'm going wide receiver for 5 rounds. Eh, give me a flex on one running back. I'll go 4 out of the next 5 rounds will be wide receiver. That's the plan. If I get a running back value that I like, though, I'm going to take it. But that might have to be a little bit later because I did go running back pretty heavy in the beginning. So right now we're looking between Traylon Burks, Christian Kirk, and Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett is feeling a lot less enticing now than he did before, being that Baker Mayfield has officially not gone to the Seahawks, and the only other hope for them is Jimmy Garoppolo. So I mean, definitely possible, but I like Baker Mayfield over Jimmy Garoppolo anyways. So I'm not as interested in Tyler Lockett now. I guess we'll go Christian Kirk. I really don't love Christian Kirk or Traylon Burks, to be honest with you. But we'll go Christian Kirk just because he is a little more of an established player. I'm not really trying to take a chance right here, especially since we only have 2 receivers. So I think he's a little bit safer of a pick. And we're kind of taking our shots on Juju was a shot. Cam Akers was a shot. Kyle Pitts was a shot. So we didn't really need to take another lottery ticket here, especially since it's not a tournament style draft. It's a 12 man 12 team league. So we're just trying to come in the top 3 out of these 12, so the top 25%. So being that we already took some shots on receivers, tight ends, and running backs earlier on, we're going to go ahead and take the safer pick between Christian Kirk and Traylon Burks. And I think that's the right play there. Although I will say it's going to be hard not to take a shot on a receiver here at the 103 because the ones that are going to be available to us will be Sky Moore, possibly Tyler Lockett, Chris Olave, Robert Woods. I could go with like a Melvin Gordon or Devin Singletary in that range. But I don't want to go. I want to go another receiver. I don't want to go running back this early, to be honest with you. I'd rather go with Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods is a sleeper. We're going to keep talking about it because if you haven't seen my other videos, then you need to know. Start taking Robert Woods where you can. Please. I think Traylon Burks gets up to speed eventually, but Robert Woods is the only hope in the Tennessee Titans passing game in the beginning of the season. And I think he is a very talented player. He is a little bit older. He is coming off an ACL injury, but I'm telling you, take Robert Woods. You won't regret it. My only question is if Tyler Lockett makes it to us, do we take him over Robert Woods? The answer probably should be yes. I just don't feel great about betting on Geno Smith, to be honest with you. This is gonna have to be a spur of the moment type of decision because I really don't know who I like the most. Sky Moore takes that option out of there. Chris Olave, I'm the least interested in just because Michael Thomas is back at training camp in Seattle or in New Orleans running routes. I think Chris Olave is an absolute stud, but I think he has some pretty great target competition. So I think as I'm saying this, I'm talking myself into taking Robert Woods. Although Tyler Lockett is still available. Do I do it? They're both old, that's for sure. I'm going to go Robert Woods. If Baker Mayfield didn't just get traded to the Panthers, I would probably have taken Tyler Lockett, but in the hopes that he was going to Seattle still. But just the fact that Geno Smith is looking more and more likely to be their quarterback, I don't know if I want a piece of that pie. And if I do, it's going to be DK Metcalf. So I'm okay passing on Tyler Lockett there for Robert Woods, especially since we've already taken our shots like we talked about. And I think Robert Woods is the safer pick. So you can't really use age in that decision because they're both getting up there in age. And they both have their setbacks. Robert Woods being an injury last year, and Tyler Lockett's being his quarterback play. So you really can make a case for either one. But I think Robert Woods, based on the role that he's going to have in Tennessee, is enough for us to go with him there. So we're still looking to go with Baker Mayfield late. I feel like we're gonna miss him just because someone's gonna take him before we do. Because I probably won't look to take him till down here to try to get a steal. That might be waiting too late. This is my first draft since the news of Baker Mayfield getting traded. So it's very possible he gets stolen from us a little bit earlier. But being that it's the first day, the first couple hours after the news, I'm going to try to take advantage on his value and take him a little bit later, but not as late as his ADP. Because his ADP is honestly here. Like, this is where his ADP is right now. He's not going to fall that far. I'm going to reach on him at some point. It's just a matter of when. This is kind of a sticky range to be in as well. Tom Brady. Tyler Boyd goes. Really, any of these three players I'm interested in right here. Christian Watson, Tim Patrick, Michael Gallup. Let's go the all-injury team. Go with Michael Gallup. Pair him up with Robert Woods. Pair him up with J.K. Dobbins. Pair him up with Cam Akers. We're going all-injury team this draft. And I kind of joke when I say that, but at the same time, I think it could work out because if they all come back at full speed, which is probably unlikely that all of them pick up where they left off, but if that happens, then we're getting an extreme value on all of them. If they, if those players didn't suffer injuries last year, like I think Michael Gallup would be going so early if he didn't get injured last year because he's going to be the wide receiver too in a very good offense. So I think he would be going honestly up here, like in the 7th and 8th round. But he's fallen all the way to the 10th, so we've been taking him quite a bit. I think his talent is extremely high. I think he's very overlooked based off of the other receiving options that Dallas has had up until this year. So I think you really can capitalize on Michael Gallup this year. So I do like going with him. Trying to look back if there's any picks I would have picked differently, and I don't think so. I was looking at this Christian Kirk pick. This is probably the second time I've picked Christian Kirk. I'm really just not a fan. I think he is a deep threat. I think he got way overpaid. I think he has poor quarterback performance coming in this next coming year. But he should be the wide receiver one. Trevor Lawrence should take a step this year. Urban Meyer is no longer there. So I'm okay with taking a chance on him, especially in this team that we're kind of drafting a team of players that we don't typically get. Like Christian Kirk, I don't normally get. Tom Brady, I don't normally get. J.K. Dobbins, I don't normally get. Juju Smith, I don't normally get. Kyle Pitts, I don't normally get. Yeah, so this is a very different team for me, but it's kind of fun doing it this way and just grabbing these players that we have a little to no exposure to, just to kind of put a hand in every pot. And like I said, this year really is all about gathering information for future years and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. So I like kind of diversifying my portfolio a little bit and taking teams that I wouldn't normally take, so that we have exposure everywhere and we'll have data to look back on and analyze. This team has gone through 10 rounds with no running backs. That is quite the strategy. I'm very curious to see what he does here moving forward. And knowing that, we might want to go ahead and grab a running back here. And that running back is going to be Ronald Jones if we can, which we can. So we're going to go Ronald Jones here. And this is a range. If I was going wide receiver, I would have went Jameson Williams, but I'm okay not going wide receiver there. Going with our 4th running back. And I honestly might go with our 2nd tight end here as well, just to get it out of the way. I think Jahan Dotson is a really good pick. Maybe I go with him, actually. I've been really liking Jahan Dotson. He's a first round, 16th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken. So I do think that he is a very good pick that you can capitalize on here in these later rounds. In round 12, potentially. However, I will say I do like the idea of taking one of these tight ends. Now, if either of these receivers fall to us at pick 138, we will absolutely take them. I highly doubt it, but that will be a no-brainer for us. We're not going to go with Tua here because we don't have a stack, and we are looking for Baker Mayfield. I'm really I feel like he's going to get sniped from me just because no one knows where to take him. I'm going to try to take him in like the 15th round, but we're just going to have to wait and see. I really have no idea where people are going to take him. Honestly, if Jameson Williams falls to us, that would be awesome because then it would really go in line with our all-injury team. That would be pretty cool. Who else got? Oh, Irv Smith would fit in there well too, which I'd be cool with either one. This team is 7 wide receivers, so I would be shocked if they go another wide receiver right here. Good news, everybody. I found a dog this past weekend just out on the streets, and we brought him home, gave him some food, gave him a bunch of water, gave him as many treats as he could eat. Had to take him to the like the kennel, I guess, like the adoption center. And it was very sad. I named him Chester while we were chilling, but turns out he got picked up by his family, so happy ending. Happy ending. Right now, I'm deciding between Jameson Williams and Irv Smith, actually. I like both of them. I think I'm going to go Jameson Williams, being that I think you can get some really good. Oh, shit. I wish you could read. I don't know why you can't read the blurb after you pick them. But again, either one of them would be going along with our all injury team. But I think Jameson Williams is I think he's a very high ceiling. He could be like the. I'm not gonna say Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, but he could come into the league and really shake things up and have a great season. The only thing about him is he probably won't come back till around the 4th week. Let's see if we can find some information. When will Jameson Williams be healthy? Williams per the average recovery time 6 months using timeline. All right, let's see if we can get some more news, more recent news. Don't want to miss my pick. Let's see. Oh, wow. The past 3 seasons, Chris Olave has been the best wide receiver at Ohio State. His rise to prominence pushed Garrett Wilson to 1B role and Jameson Williams onto another college program. That's pretty crazy. Finally got but one who could miss a large chunk of the rookie season as he recovers from a torn ACL. January Williams is a tall and slender with a jaw-dropping game-breaking speed, specifically his zone coverage. Dominator as cornerbacks. Williams was not afraid of contact. Built up from forgetting physical lines. Clearly valued Williams' top trait for not only making plays. Williams won't be ready to play for several weeks into the season, and when he does, it's Jared Goff throwing to him. That is fair. Hold on one sec. That is fair, but saying Jared Goff is the one throwing to him really means nothing because TJ Hawkinson did fine last year. Amon-Ra St. Brown was a league winner last year, and I think Jameson Williams is a better talent than both of them. So I'm not really baking that into my decision-making process that much. Here, what we're going to do is go ahead and take Alberto just to be done with the tight end position. This allows us to only take 2 tight ends. We need one more running back. Hopefully, we only need one more quarterback if we get Baker Mayfield. But if we don't, then we'll probably have to end up taking 3 since we're waiting for him. I still haven't seen him go. Let's see. 2. Is this 2? Yes. 2 quarterbacks, 1 quarterback, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so it's a split. They have 3. I don't know why you would go 3 there. But there's plenty of teams that are in the market for Baker Mayfield. I just don't know how late I want to go to take him because it's one of those situations that he's already so much further past his value. Like if I take him at this round, we're getting an extreme value on him because I do think his ADP goes up probably to this Kirk Cousins range. So we will be getting him like 5 rounds after where he probably should be going. But I think we're going to push it. In the beginning of the draft, we said we were going to try to take him here in this 15th round. So I think we're going to stick to it, see if it works. If it doesn't, oh well. If it does, we'll be feeling really good. If there's no players here, then we will take him. But I think there's going to be some players we're looking for. Darrell Williams goes. I could use a running back. Jalen Tolbert is a little bit interesting. Actually, let's go Jalen Tolbert. And the reason I'm going Jalen Tolbert here is because we already have Michael Gallup, and one of them is going to be the wide receiver 2 in Dallas. I think it's absolutely going to be Michael Gallup. But if it's not, we will have Jalen Tolbert. If anything happened to CeeDee Lamb, they'll both be very viable. Probably not, though. It's Jalen Tolbert I'm very low on, and I don't take him very much at all. But just the way this team's shaking out, and I already have Michael Gallup, and I'm pretty confident in the rest of our receiving core, I'll go ahead and take the shot on Jalen Tolbert and see if that can work out. I am looking for my last running back here soon. But I did say I was going to take Baker Mayfield here. Where's Robbie Anderson going, actually? Because that could be a nice little low-key stack. Did he already go? He might have already went. Probably already went. I don't even know where Robbie Anderson usually goes. Oh, he just went. Oh, I could have taken him. Shit. Actually, no, they already have 3 quarterbacks. Yeah, they're not going. I thought they might be preparing for a stack as well, but they're not. Let's see. 2, 1, 2. Okay, so the majority of these teams. Okay. The majority of the teams on this side of the draft already have 2 quarterbacks. JPL picks twice after us. So if we wait, he'll probably end up taking Baker Mayfield. But do we push it? While we're thinking about it, this is the team that went 6 receivers to start, 7 receivers to start, and 10 rounds without running backs. And their recovery method is to go Rashad White, Isaiah Spiller, Khalil Herbert, Tyrion Davis-Price. There's just no way in my mind that running back core gets you through the season as a winning team. Now, I will say if an injury happens to Lenny, Austin Eckler, and or David Montgomery, then maybe you have a chance, or I guess Elijah Mitchell too. Yeah, you probably do have a chance, and then your wide receiving core will be absolutely stout. But that is very risky. Very, very risky. Very risky, and it stresses me out. I will not be doing that strategy anytime soon. That's for sure. I'm really, really tempted to go ahead and pass up on Baker Mayfield again. Who would I pass him up for, though? Oh, he's so far down there. I'm going to do it. How many receivers do I have? 7. 5 running backs. Wait, 4 running backs. Yeah, we're going to do it. Fuck it. We'll go Corey Davis here. Get ourselves kind of another locked in 10-point lock. I feel like Corey Davis is a watered down Robert Woods in a lot of ways. I am nervous, though. I think that we do run the risk of having, who was it? Yeah, right here, JPL, he already picked one, so we only have to weather him one more pick. I am just very nervous he snipes Baker Mayfield from us. If we can grab Baker Mayfield in the 16th round, we're really going to be capitalizing on this news here today. So that's what we're shooting for. And if we get Baker Mayfield, we're done. We're just going to stick with 2 quarterbacks, and we'll be feeling really good about our team. But I have a funny feeling that JP is going to go Baker Mayfield right here. I really do. If he does, we'll go with like Ryan Tannehill or Jared Goff for a stack because we have a player on the Detroit Lions and Tennessee Titans. So that would be fine if it does happen. Here he is. This is the moment of truth. He goes Ryan Tannehill. So we're going to get Baker Mayfield this late, which is an extreme value. Extreme value. I don't even like the wide receivers in this range, so I'm totally fine passing on that as well. And then we'll probably go with Jerick McKinnon as our running back. But we're going to go ahead, jump ahead all the way to ADP value 212, and we'll compete with Darnold my ass. My ass, dude. You are not competing with Darnold. I mean, you might compete, but you'll win pretty quick. So that's as long as we want to wait. We waited till the third to last round. I think that's really good. Like we said before, I think Baker Mayfield starts going all the way up here. I think he goes in rounds 10 through 12 once people realize he's going to be the starter in Carolina. So getting him in the 16th round is extremely valuable. And that's why as soon as I saw the Instagram post that he got traded to the Carolina Panthers, I just didn't wait. I hopped into a draft now so that we can capitalize on it before everyone sees it and figures it out. I kind of wish we got DJ Moore, though, because if we had DJ Moore stacked with him, then that would be the insane value that we were looking for. But DJ Moore went over here. I would have taken him at 42, but I'm not going to reach on him at the 31 pick. So I'm not mad about our picks. The only pick I am mad about, actually, is going Jalen Tolbert here instead of Robbie Anderson. I didn't even look ahead for Robbie Anderson, and that was just a mistake on my part. I really would have liked to go with that stack. What team was that, actually? Because I think they might have reached on him as well, because I didn't even see him in the – that's T – where is he at? Right here. Did he reach on him? Yeah, he reached 10 picks, so that's why we didn't see him. I mean, to be fair, there's no way I could have known that team would have reached on him because at ADP 173, we should have been able to get him here where Corey Davis was, and that's what we were shooting for. So I'm not mad about not reaching on him here, but I wish this team didn't reach on him. And I'm wondering if this team was going for a Baker Mayfield stack later, but then again, probably not because he had 3 quarterbacks here, so he definitely wasn't going for Baker Mayfield stack. I'm not really sure on why he reached for Robbie Anderson in the first place. But can't really beat myself up about not taking him over Jalen Tolbert. Especially being that Jalen Tolbert was, I think, like 15 picks behind ADP, and we have Michael Gallup. So we were looking for Jalen Tolbert and Robbie Anderson, but that's not really a decision we could have planned for. Jerick McKinnon is who we're taking here, rejoining Casey backfield. So now we actually have Jerick McKinnon and Ronald Jones, which I do like because I think I cannot put into words how low I am on CEH. I think it is likely. I won't say very likely, but I think it's likely that CEH gets completely phased out. Jerick McKinnon steps into the receiving back role, and Ronald Jones is the goal line back. So having both of them is an extremely good build. I honestly didn't even do that on purpose, but I do like that combination. And we do have 3 Kansas City Chiefs here with Juju Smith, which I'm okay with that. Even though we don't have Patrick Mahomes, I'm still okay with that because I think Jerick McKinnon's kind of like your shot in the dark. We're not really banking on him, but I think he will have a few games with some solid points. So I do like going him here paired up with Ronald Jones. And he's kind of like the Michael Gallup, Jalen Tolbert pair that we did here where we're more confident in the player that we drafted first, but in the event that player doesn't produce or something happens to him, then Jerick McKinnon or Jalen Tolbert will step up. And then if anything happened to CEH or CD Lamb as far as injury goes, then both of them will become viable. So I like that pick. I think it's smart to pick them together because I never would pick them by themselves. And it kind of it's a creative way to get exposure to players that you don't necessarily like when you put them in that insurance role. Chris says my late round Mayfield picks, especially in Superflex, should definitely pay off. I have a good amount of third QB in round. So the funny thing is, Chris, I am with you, and I think I have 3 of the Superflex leagues with Baker Mayfield, and the first Superflex draft that I ever did, I didn't realize you had to go as quarterback heavy in the beginning of the draft. So I thought, and my ADPs were screwed up. So I thought that I was like rigging the system by not going, and then I realized later on in like the 10th round that I had to start taking quarterbacks. So I was taking quarterbacks in desperation, and I ended up going with like Zach Wilson, Marcus Mariota, or no, Zach Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, and Baker Mayfield. So I was like, shit, like this quarterback room is terrible. And now with Baker Mayfield going up, like that team all of a sudden is probably one of my best teams, because between Zach Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, and Baker Mayfield, you can get 2 solid scores. And then the rest of my team is like absolutely stacked because I didn't go with quarterbacks in the beginning like everyone else did. So I agree. I thought that Baker Mayfield was going to go to Seattle, so I was doubling down on him as well. But being that he went to a team, regardless of what team it was, I'm definitely going to make out in some of these leagues because I think my exposure is higher than the average person in Baker Mayfield pre-trade. So I'm feeling pretty good about that too. What's your exposure looking like to Baker in Superflex particularly? And were you smart enough to pair him with DJ Moore early on? Because I tried to really rig it, and I put DK Metcalf on the teams that I drafted Baker Mayfield, which unfortunately isn't the stack I was shooting for. But at the same time, I'm curious if anyone shot for the DJ Moore stack. Chris says, I think I might start taking some Pacheco, running back rookie in Kansas City. It's very tempting. Looks really good. 4.3 40. Hold on, let me look him up real quick. What's his name? Pacheco. He's a rookie. Pacheco draft profile. Isaiah Pacheco. Went in the 7th round. Rutgers. 4.37. Wow. I think it's a good pick. Where's he go? His ADP is probably ridiculous. 215. Okay, so he is on the radar. He is on the radar a little bit, but that's a good tip. You're always coming in here with the good tips, Chris, I have to say. The Nico Collins tip was really nice. I think Pacheco is definitely in consideration. I think that's very fair. Did someone take him, actually? Oh, let me see. No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I will say that Jerick McKinnon is interesting just because of what he did in the playoffs last year, but that's very interesting. Mayfield, 44% Superflex. Oh, my God. You're probably feeling good. You're probably feeling yourself now. I mean, it was kind of obvious that he wasn't going to he was going to be out of Cleveland come the start of the season. So I'm sure a lot of people out there are kicking themselves. I don't think mine's as high as 44% in Superflex. I think mine is more around like the 25% area. Should be higher now. I mean, obviously hindsight is easy. It's 2020, but 44, man, you were really doubling down. I would be curious to see the teams that you have him on, like the rest of the build, because I'm assuming you went with him as like your third option and not. Yeah, you would have had to go with him as your third option. There's no way you're drafting him as your second. I mean, if people really doubled down and went with like, I don't know. I don't think there's really ever a scenario where Mayfield's not a third option in Superflex during that time. But wow, you're probably feeling really good about yourself right now. But this draft has ended. The final team for this draft was Tom Brady and Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Running backs being Najee Harris, Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, Ronald Jones, and Jerick McKinnon. Wide receiver being Mike Evans paired with Tom Brady. Juju Smith-Schuster, that was for you, Chris. Christian Kirk, Robert Woods, Michael Gallup, Jamison Williams, Jalen Tolbert, Corey Davis, William Fuller, and then Kyle Pitts and Alberto at tight end. And I called this the all-injury team. Let's go back and look at all the players that were out last season from injury. I'll count Baker Mayfield because he was injured all season last season. Cam Akers was out with a Achilles. J.K. Dobbins was out with an ACL and Achilles, I think. Juju was out. Christian Kirk missed some time. Robert Woods was out. Michael Gallup was out. Jameson Williams will be out. Corey Davis missed some time. William Fuller was out. Yeah, so we really did draft the all-injury team. We might be able to grab – I mean, we might be looking really good this upcoming season if 75% of them come back to what they were. But and because we're drafting them at the value with that injury baked in. So it's possible, but I kind of like how we kept that theme going. Before I head out, Chris Davis says, double down Ronald Jones and Pacheco. Decent strategy. Yeah, no, that's kind of what I did here with Jerick McKinnon. I do like going the 1-2 punch because I think me and you are on the same page that CEH just is not it. And I would much rather bet on Jerick McKinnon and Pacheco now at their values versus paying for CEH at a price that is in the – I think he's in like the Melvin Gordon range, which to me that's not even close. Pick Mayfield on all my 0 running back teams, but no DJ Moore at all. Okay, yeah. See, I have one DJ. I think I have one Superflex team with DJ Moore, but it's not paired with Baker Mayfield, which I wish it was, but it's not. So, but yeah, that you got to be feeling good. I wish I had 44% exposure to Baker Mayfield in my Superflex, but I'm just glad I have him. I have some exposure to him before that trade happened, so. We did get an extreme value. And I think we just got an extreme value on him here as well because he does not stay around pick 186 because this technically was a reach with where his ADP is at now, but his ADP is going to shoot up in the next couple of days. So I think we still got him at a value in this draft as well. So that's why I hopped in as soon as I did. This draft is over, so I appreciate you, Chris, for coming out once again. I appreciate everyone that's been showing love and support to the channel. We'll get into another draft tomorrow, probably be another 12-team draft. And then I'm going away for the weekend to visit some friends. So we will get into a Best Ball Mania draft when I get back. But in the meantime, everyone have a great night. Pick up on Baker Mayfield and DJ Moore as much as you can in the next 24 hours before their ADP levels out. But other than that, sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Use code FFX54. Your first deposit from $10 to $100 gets matched at 100%. I didn't say that in all this video, but there it is. And once again, thank you very much for all of your support, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.